Hello everyone, this is Powerless again, the third installment in my Powerless Thoughts video series. In this video I'll be discussing the metagame. So to begin, what is the metagame? I honestly sat down for a few minutes and tried to think of a technical definition and failed miserably. But to my surprise, Wikipedia had an excellent article explaining what the metagame is in a clear and easy to understand way. I'll drop a link in the description below if you want to read the article, which I definitely encourage. Wikipedia defines metagaming as any strategy, action, or method used in a game which transcends a pre-described rule set, uses exterior factors to affect the game, or goes beyond the supposed limits or environment set by the game. Another definition refers to the game universe outside of the game itself. Metagaming differs from strategy in that metagaming is making decisions based upon out-of-game knowledge, whereas strategies are decisions based upon in-game actions and knowledge. In simple terms, it's the use of out-of-game information and resources to affect one's in-game decisions. To overly simplify the topic, the metagame is everything that occurs outside of the game. As I'm sure you've noticed by now, almost every person in the community has participated in the metagame in one way or another. The very concept of a clan, ranks, positions, titles, is almost by definition part of the metagame. For example, a clan leader might declare war because somebody posted a video on YouTube insulting his clan or threatening his clan. This declaration of war is entirely based upon an action that occurred outside of the game. The declaration of war itself occurred outside of the game. It's a metagame action. On a more basic level, raids are also part of the metagame. Everyone knows that the game doesn't score raids. The winner is decided by rules agreed upon previously by the two parties. This is by definition something that occurs outside of the game. It's a metagame. In this way, I believe it might be easier to relabel the metagame as roleplay for the purposes of this video. It's a term we're much more familiar with, and is close enough in its meaning that should be sufficient for the purposes of this video. This community is, for the most part, based upon roleplay. Both UNSC and military clans roleplay to various extents. The functional health of both sides depends upon roleplay to survive. So now, the question becomes, why make a video about roleplay and how is it important to Halo 5? I think that, on a basic level, the health of the community is dependent upon the quality of roleplay, and over the past few years, the quality of roleplay has deteriorated greatly. Perhaps the best way to explain this would be to use an analogy. Imagine a group of friends gathering to play Dungeons & Dragons together. Of course, they're stereotypically nerdy no-lifes. Even though it's only a pen and paper board game, they still cosplay, wear capes, bring plastic swords, and talk in character. Even though they don't need to roleplay as their character in order to play Dungeons & Dragons, they do it anyways because it's fun. It makes the game more intense. Now imagine the same group of friends playing the same game of Dungeons & Dragons. They still follow the same rules of Dungeons & Dragons, but they don't roleplay. Instead, they bring their laptops and phones and text other people while playing. They talk on their phones and generally don't invest themselves into the game of Dungeons & Dragons itself. Which group had more fun playing Dungeons & Dragons? The people that went all in and roleplayed as their characters, or the people who only went through the motions while texting their mom about what was for dinner? Of course, the first group had more fun. It's why the stereotypical Dungeons & Dragons nerds even exist. It's where the stereotype came from. Dungeons & Dragons isn't a particularly fun board game in and of itself. It's the roleplay that makes it fun. If you buy into this roleplay and you participate in a more active way, it's more entertaining. I believe that, again, on a basic level, this is much of what the community has lost. I remember in 2011 and 2012, sitting in clan meetings and ranting about how stupid it was the UN was using their media to manipulate the community to discourage individuals like myself from playing. I remember being genuinely upset that the UN was afraid to fight V100 and ran away from our challenges. I remember being gutted when any number of my intelligence operations failed and I was unable to capitalize on opportunity. Is it nerdy? Definitely. But it's what makes clans fun. It's why I take diplomacy, foreign affairs, intelligence, clan leadership, etc. so seriously to begin with. I think that everyone needs to ask themselves a very simple question. Why did you join a military clan? Did you join a clan to say you're better than somebody else? Or did you join because you wanted a particular experience? Did you join because you like the idea of role-playing as a soldier in Halo because it sounds fun? I feel that with only a few exceptions, the community's focus on roleplay has steadily faded away. In 2011, it was about crushing the UN. In 2015, it's about crushing LagLink. There's a massive difference. People fought the UN because they wanted to destroy the clan. It's an entirely metagame statement. I fought the UN because I wanted to remove their political dominance. Now, we aren't crushing clans, we're crushing people. It's not about roleplay. It's a series of personal attacks and just general stupidity. I honestly think that at this point, it's a false advertisement to claim we are a military or UNSC community. There is no community political metagame. There is no such thing as a meaningful clan war or alliance or meeting. It's just a group of kids who are trying to build a legacy for the purpose of building a legacy. Look at JB or Shadow Sniper or any important person from the old community. They didn't become famous for being bad role players. JB and Shadow Sniper were, for most purposes, very much into the roleplay of the community. JB made his videos, and Shadow Sniper created a clan. I did media and intelligence. The very basic idea goes for everyone else. Raymer, SOCOM, Century Strike, etc. Some were better than others, but everyone cared about the roleplay. It was never Raymer versus Century. It was FleetCom versus the UF. People invested into the roleplay. Now, in 2015, I think it's entirely different. It's the community versus Itch-Micelle, or Spartan Joe, or Wolverine, or LagLink. As I said before, the roleplay is all but gone. The flags are meaningless. It's no big deal to make a clan with the intentions of that clan dying when Halo 5 launches, because the concept of a clan no longer matters. There's a reason why the title Clan Hopper used to be an insult, and now it's not. Now we have Z4, one of the most popular people in the community, leading 2 clans and acting like it's an achievement. We have Navcom versus LagLink, and Arrow reclaiming his honor and killing shit-talkers on Halo Reach. If there was one fundamental difference between 2011 and 2015, it's the roleplay. It's all but disappeared. I can make a laundry list of reasons why the current community is terrible. For the purposes of venting and to help you understand where we failed as a community, I'll list a few of these. Declaring war isn't an event. There are no videos, there are no meetings. It's a kick message sent at 2 a.m. followed by a random meme, and that would do just fine. Alliances are meaningless, there are no terms, there are no documents. There's nothing agreed upon other than, do you want to be an ally? Wars have fundamentally lost their value. Now we have friendly activity wars between Navcom and Exodus with the sole intention of spinning their wheels in the mud. Diplomacy doesn't exist. There are no diplomats, there are no international clan meetings. It's only Facebook, Kick, the sway of popular opinion, and memes. And these are just a few of the offenses. As I said, I can go on all night about the metagame and how much it has degraded. If we want the community to be healthy and entertaining, and for it to succeed in Halo 5, we need to be honest with ourselves about just how bad the community's roleplay is. To label ourselves as UNSC or military at this point is a lie. I'll leave you with a closing idea. Imagine you were a new player to Halo and heard about the military or UNSC roleplay community. What would you imagine that group was like? Is that anything like what you experience today? That's all for this video. This is Power, out.